Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Throwdown for the week of May 16th, 2021. I'm completely spaced on the date. It's even right there in front of me. I'm Caleb Black, Luke the Big Doug Williams, along with our in-studio producer, the Mighty Max Fury. It's time for round 2 of our Intercontinental Championship Tournament, whatever you want to call it. The winner of the last round going through with The Rock, represented by Luke the Big Dog Williams. Real quick, I was wrong. Kurt Hennig is not a third-generation superstar. I was thinking about when he and his father teamed against the Ganyas, who are third-generation superstars. So my head was in the right place, but I'm also not slept.
But the wrong
That's right, you were wrong.
My head has slept in like 22 hours. Eat my ass.
But I was right.
He was right. So, Luke, you called the coin toss?
Yes.
You got the coin toss? Are you going to start us off? Or are you
I'm
defer?
going to defer just because I want to see your argument.
All right. Let's see who my first competitor is.
All right, Caleb, you're starting out number 66, Dolph Ziggler.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah. All right.
We'll start at the minute mark.
I'll start at the minute mark.
This is going to be a good one.
Yeah. Dolph Ziggler has been a numerous-time Intercontinental Champion. Quick backstory, as we've talked about how wrestlers started from the bottom and worked their way back up. Dolph Ziggler started as a member of the Spirit Squad, the only remaining member full-time on the roster who endured the fact that he had to enter in as a male cheerleader and is currently still to this day, some 16 years later, a WWE Tag Team Champion. As Intercontinental Champion numerous times, I want to say at least 3, he has wrestled against guys like Edge, Alberto Del Rio, John Cena, the Hardy Boys, fucking you name it, Dolph Ziggler has wrestled them. Also, it goes without saying, he is the most emulated version of the Heartbreak Kid of today, and what better way to sink that in than being a prolific Intercontinental Champion and held the Intercontinental title within the last 5 years, and is probably the only person on that list who isn't a current champion to do that and still go on to hold another championship directly after. Dolph Ziggler is the current standard in professional wrestling and set that bar as Intercontinental Champion.
That was a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Also, when he first came in, though, he was actually before the Spirit Squad. Did you know that? He was Kerwin White's
little caddy, yeah. And then he went back to OVW, got rebranded, and had to go into the witness protection program.
Also, fun little note, Max has been hitting us with all these facts for the Intercontinental title. I've got one for you, Caleb. Who is the oldest person to hold the Intercontinental Championship?
Ric Flair.
Yes, 63 years old. 3 months?
I'll start saying 3 months and fucking 19 days or some shit.
205 days. How old was he when he won?
Wow. 64?
63.
56.
56?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Why are we making him so old? He was still in his 50s
because he's old.
at that time.
He's Ric Flair.
Yeah, you're right.
Who I got?
200 days? That's almost a full year.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
Drew McIntyre.
Ooh. Good one. Right off of Dolph, too, which is great.
All right, and Drew McIntyre, probably one of the most recognized professional wrestlers in the world today. Started off his illustrious career so far, and still has a lot of time to go.
Mm-hmm.
Started off his illustrious career as the Intercontinental Champion. Handpicked by Vince McMahon to be the chosen one.
Yep.
Granted, his title reign was not that long, but when you look at it in the aspect of things, was the catalyst for what we see today as him as the WWE champion, or was. Drew McIntyre is a guy who can elicit a response from the crowd, whether it's negative or positive. They're always making noise for Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
Drew McIntyre also was young, so young when he won the title that even if he was to win the Intercontinental title tomorrow, the longevity of him being able to carry now, as well as back then, is about the same.
Yeah, honestly.
He won the Intercontinental title during the Ruthless Aggression era.
Also, real quick, just worth noting, they brought Drew back to be Ziggler's bodyguard while he was Intercontinental Champion, which is a very cool tandem for this argument. The Diesel Michaels.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really got to go with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's a fair argument.
Longer reign.
In fairness, when you think about Drew McIntyre, you really don't think about his time as Intercontinental Champion.
Also, his last Intercontinental reign, No, I'm going to keep that.
Okay.
I'm going to keep that just in case.
Sure.
Because I know for a fact he's going on to the round. So.
All right, Caleb, you won that one.
Yo, I'll defer. I'm going to throw it to the big man.
Cool. Okay. We were actually we were outside and we were just talking about this. Texas
Tornado. Nice. You just roll on to the minute mark.
Yeah, that's what that's easiest. It's going to be a little more difficult, but I'm going to give it a shot. I don't want to discredit the man.
No, not at all. Yeah.
All right, Texas Tornado. Most people know him as Kerry Von Erich and the Fighting Von Erichs. Was the only championship, the Intercontinental title, that he held in his tenure in the WWE, which was only 2 years long. He was only in the WWE for a 2-year span of time. In that 2-year span of time, he was Intercontinental Champion for 3 months. Now, I know that 3 months doesn't seem very long, but when you look at the whole picture of him only being in the WWE for 2 years, it kind of says a lot. The matches he had high-profile matches against Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels. I mean, the list goes on and on in that era between, I think, like 92 to 93.
Yeah, 92.
Kerry Von Erich as a champion alone, although this is for the Intercontinental title, and I don't want to defer from that, has been a champion everywhere.
Yeah.
He's one of the most recognizable people in Texas, especially from the Von Erich family.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, the Intercontinental title reign came at a dark point in his life, towards the end of his life. There's not a whole lot more there's not a whole lot more I can say about him because I don't have the...
Fun fact, he beat Kurt Hennig Forza.
Yes, and dropped it back.
I was talking about it, yeah. Who you got, Daddy-O?
This should be an easy one. This should be an easy one.
If it's someone I fucking remember, I don't know. We'll see.
Pat Patterson.
Oh, well, fuck. You really want to go a minute on this?
I don't need to. I'm going to go at the 6:30 mark.
All right.
Pat Patterson was the inaugural Intercontinental Champion for the WWF. Pat Patterson set the stage for every single elevated professional wrestler that would hold that title to go on into the main event. And surprisingly, didn't spend a whole lot of time there after referring back to the Intercontinental title division. Without Pat Patterson as Intercontinental Champion, there would be no other Intercontinental Champions. Every single name on that list would not matter when it came to that belt because of Pat Patterson. 30 seconds time.
Yeah.
I think that one's pretty...
That's a fucking no-brainer.
Yeah, unfortunately...
He came up against the fucking Texas Tornado.
That's an easy go in this round, but it's going to get harder for Pat.
It absolutely is, yeah.
Also, at WWW...
Yeah. Then Seniors.
Like legit hardcore shit,
Right after the San Francisco territories.
Yes, Pat Patterson was the very first Intercontinental Champion.
He was.
September 1st, 1979.
Wow. Right before the wrestling boom.
Can I take a guess? I think, never mind, I think I'm wrong. I was going to say, I think he beat Don Morocco for the first title, but I think I'm wrong about that.
I think it was Pedro Morales.
Was it Pedro Morales?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I think that's right.
It's either Morocco or Morales. It's one of the two. Yeah. All right. Well,
because Morales was a heel at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will defer back to Luke for this round. I'll let you start us off.
Right on.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And you've got the big red machine, Kane.
Shit. Okay. All right.
Good one.
All right. I'll go with the 10.
Yeah.
Glenn Jacobs, Kane, held the Intercontinental Championship, I believe, on more than one occasion. I'm going to say 2.
I think twice.
Kane, at the time, it was interesting for him to be the Intercontinental Champion because Kane was just off the run as being the Undertaker's foil, which means he was probably one of the first legitimate heavyweight contenders that went to the IC division and made a difference.
That's a good point.
This was also during the time where Kane dropped the gimmick with the voice changer.
Yep.
He had matches with, God, who knows, Triple H.
Yep.
Which actually he had a unification match with Triple H, to which they unified that in the world title at the time. Kane is by far one of the most has one of the most longest tenures in professional wrestling in the WWE. To say that, also a name that everyone knows. He held like I said, the Intercontinental title in a time that was
time.
Is it time?
Time.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
All right. Caleb, you've got the Godfather.
Fuck.
That's a hard.
Oh man! All right.
That's a hard pull. Even though I do know a fun fact about that, but I'll let you go.
Okay.
Anytime you're ready.
Godfather was Intercontinental Champion. I don't remember dick all about it being champion though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He had a great tenure in the WWE. Started as Papa Shango, worked his way up, and again, the Intercontinental title was always slated to be the second-tier championship. Was lost in the shuffle during some periods of the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era. Godfather's title reign was a victim of that. So I can't say it was illustrious, and I really don't have a valid argument as to why it would have been good. He was never going to be slated to be the next main event guy, although he certainly could have been, given maybe 5 more years and a much more serious take with his relationship with The Undertaker, but it was never going to go in that direction. So for that reason, I can't really argue his title reign that much longer because it's not that significant.
Right.
And it certainly pales in comparison to Kane's, because Kane used his as an elevation to get back into the main event.
Time.
So that's my time.
Now, hold on before you make your
decision. Kind of a concession there.
Before you make your decision, well, here, I'm going to speak to the people here. You're going to get some of this this way because the Intercontinental title, while it has an illustrious history,
there are
some of the people who won the title didn't hold it very long.
Yeah.
And everyone that has held the title... Everyone that has held the title, regardless of how minuscule it is on this list.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's been changed. The title has changed hands 179 times between 88 different competitors.
From 1979 to now.
So
that's not a lot of times, honestly.
No, it's not.
Also, the Godfather was slated to lose the title to Owen Hart the night Owen Hart fell and died.
That's right. That's right. The Blue Blazer was
Yep.
Well, based on your arguments, I got to go with Kane.
I think,
Based on what we were talking about earlier, I just wanted. Did you know that the Intercontinental title is the 3rd oldest title still active
in the WWF, or
in the WWE?
Oh yeah, well that makes sense. It would be the World Heavyweight title,
the tag team,
the tag team titles, and the Intercontinental title.
WWE belt 1963, US belt 1975 to 2001.
That was the original US.
Yes, the original one. Then
the original US title was the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
And then the IC title in 79.
They count 2001 though
because it was
unified with the IC title.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool.
All right,
yes, you won. I feel like it's the oldest. It
is
because all the other belts have changed so much.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead and give me mine. I'll go first.
All right. You've got Dean Douglas.
For fuck's sake, Dean Douglas. Formerly known as, or otherwise known as Shane Douglas, held the title for exactly 27 minutes. Yeah. He was handed the title as a forfeit from Shawn Michaels after being beaten up concussion-wise. Had to, outside the ring, had to give the title to Dean Douglas, who turned around, defended against Razor Ramon, and lost the title in the same night. Dean Douglas, however, is a blue chipper. He's
at 100%. Yeah.
He is a hell of an athlete.
Yeah, we're just talking about the Intercontinental title reign.
Where I have to put it on the IC title, he held it for 27 minutes.
Yeah.
So, like I said in the beginning here, I'm going to use the time because I'm just going to use the time. Like I said before, if they've won the championship, they're on this list, doesn't necessarily mean that I can argue for them or that Caleb can argue for them. But as far as athletic-wise, Shane Douglas was an athletic superstar.
Absolutely.
He just got a bad rap.
Had more potential than he ever got to use the WWF, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But go ahead, time. I'll call it.
According to my information, he held it for 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
11. Whatever it was, he didn't make it.
Well,
he has the shortest
Intercontinental title reign ever.
That was from bell to bell 11 minutes.
Yes.
But you had to wait for Razor Ramon to get to the ring.
Okay.
And all of that.
And the handoff of the belt.
And the handoff and all that. So 27 minutes I'm pretty sure was almost accurate, if not give or take a minute.
Well, I had found another time with 13 minutes and 52 seconds.
That's probably bell. That's probably entrances and bell. So that's not including. That's not including his coronation.
Yeah, it just depends on how you count it.
We got to get on the move here. Who's my guy?
All right, Caleb, you have the Ultimate Warrior.
Fuck me. Ultimate Warrior went into WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion, walked out as Intercontinental Champion and World Heavyweight Champion, held the belt longer than Shane Douglas.
And ended the Honky Tonk Man's long reign as Intercontinental Champion.
I mean, that's really that's the most valid argument I can make.
Considering the time we have, it's a moot point.
Yeah, I can't go with Warrior.
Yeah.
I don't think you can argue that, really.
There's no reason to argue that.
All right, guys. Max, who are our 4 finalists?
Our 4 finalists would be Dolph Ziggler, Pat Patterson, and Kane, and the Warrior.
Ooh, right. What a lineup. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for round 2. Make sure to like, subscribe, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. Follow us on Twitter at ProWrestlingTD. Send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. And stay tuned because we have the finals, the semifinals, and finals coming up right now.